You're watching ATN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, our review for Arrow, episode 13. And first, let me just say I am very pleasantly surprised that, considering they were dealing with Vertigo again, this turned out to be a very, very good episode. A lot of things were revealed. A lot of things are on the table now, and now things are really going to get deep. So, you know, Laurel, the last couple of weeks, has been struggling being the Black Canary. She has no good tactics. She's got very minimal skills. She throws a good punch. But outside of that, she's been struggling. But she's been getting the job done. It just hasn't been pretty. And then sometimes it's been even embarrassing. And, this episode is, it was really, really strong episode. You know, this is what I love about The Flash and the Arrows because, you know, they're both, it's like a yin and a yang. You know, The Flash, you get the lightheartedness, but you still get a lot of emotional value out of scenes with certain characters, and you get the action and all that. And the Arrow's very much darker, but you get that same emotional value, and of course the action. A little bit more action-packed on the Arrow, though. And this episode, boy, I tell you, I still don't agree with going to the well one too many times with Vertigo. But then I thought about it before the show, and I said to myself, see, I have binge-watched the first two seasons and the first half of season 3. So, to me, Vertigo seems so clumped together because I've seen so many episodes. When in actuality, if you step back and look at it from a perspective of somebody who's been following by the season, then yeah, it may not look the way it looked to me originally, that they're using Vertigo all too often. Needless to say, whatever the case may be, they used it to their advantage. They used it as a tool to really start to bring Laurel out of this mode of trying to be her sister and just be herself. And they also used it as a tool for her to get enough bravery and courage to tell her father the truth. And I gotta say, honestly, that was probably the biggest heartbreaking moment of this episode for me, because if you've been following my reviews, every week when I touch upon Captain Lance and whatever happens if he finds out that Sarah's dead again, I always kind of cringe because I get concerned about how he would take it. And we don't know what the aftermath is going to be because it happened at the end of the episode. But, you know, again, I'm a father. I have kids, so when I see scenes where a character who's a parent has to deal with the loss of a child, it definitely hits me a lot harder than anything else ever could. So it was a very, very tough scene for me to watch. My wife's there crying. My wife's very much into the Arrow now. She just binge watched the first 2 seasons as well. And my wife's crying. I'm over here like, oh my God. And it was just heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking. It was even tough to watch Laurel have to do it because I can imagine the difficulty of her telling her father. So that was very, very tough. On the flip side of that, in terms of more reveals, Oliver finally decided to muster enough of his own courage and bravery to tell Thea about his secret. And you want to know something? I was not surprised by her reaction, and the reason I wasn't was because of how Oliver's mother reacted when she got the confirmation that he was the Arrow. She had always suspected, but when she actually told him and he confirmed it, you know, if you guys remember, she said, "I'm very proud of you." And Thea gave that same acknowledgement. So I can imagine the kind of weight that this relieves off of Oliver. So 2 very defining moments this season so far happened in this episode, and that was a big deal. Now, on top of that, we see now also what the team and how them being alone without Oliver for so long affected them. Now things are changing. And I think that's for the better. You know, I think that's a good thing. I don't think Oliver at this point should have to carry the weight. I think it's a good thing that he can look at his team and say, you know what, they're capable without me. And, you know, there's so many things circulating right now. Malcolm is such a wild card because as quick as he is to train Thea and train Oliver to get ready for the league, I'm kind of curious if, and I don't think he would, because when you think about Thea and how he feels about her, but I'm kind of thinking, what's his end game? If Oliver succeeds and gets rid of Roz, then what does that do for Malcolm? Especially now that Thea doesn't want to, deal with him anymore. And imagine, she doesn't even know that he drugged her. So, woo, that's a lot. That's a lot of potential conflict. I think it's a good build-up, and it's going to be exciting. Now, going back to some of the other events that took place in this episode that I thought were really cool, I was a little surprised when we found out that Amanda Weller had actually taken Oliver back to Starling City at some point. And that's going to be interesting now. Now we go to another new set of flashbacks. You know, we were in Hong Kong for a while and all this. Now, we're going to see flashbacks with Oliver in Starling City before his family knew he was even there. Amazing. It's going to be so cool to see how that played out and what he does there. It was such a good episode. I was, again, very pleasantly surprised because when I saw the Vertigo promo, it really got me like, oh, really? But but they did a good job leveraging the Vertigo as a way to build Laurel's character, to separate her, for her character to get rid of that guilt, get rid of that weight, and to stop trying to be her sister and just to be herself. And I think now that she has that weight off of her shoulders, I think she's going to perform better. I think we'll be seeing her training, obviously trying to hone her skills, but I don't think it's going to be as sloppy. She's not going to try and be her sister. She, I think now will play to her strengths, and we'll find out what those are. You know, we know that she's capable of fighting. She's had some minor training, not only from the boxer, but from her father. So I think those are the skills she needs to focus on. She needs to leverage, and I think she'll perform better. And she built up some will. You know, she built up some what's the word I'm looking for? You know, when she fought, well, not her sister per se, but when she had that second fight, you know, she found that something inside, that defining moment, and she kind of overcame a hurdle. That's that's the word that jumps at me now. Because, you know, the last time it happened, she lost. She got her ass kicked. And that's another thing, you know. I thought it was really, really funny that she went in there with a bloody nose, bruised up, and when the serum finally went through and got the vertigo out of her system, she gets up, looks like she just took a bath full of oil of Olay. Really, like not even a bruise, not, you know, nose is perfectly straight. You know, it's like, all right, I mean, TV, I guess they got to keep them pretty. But it was a really good episode, a really good episode. The flashbacks were good. I was very surprised that Oliver, you know, basically spoke, and he wasn't even tortured. I mean, granted, his family was threatened, and I thought it would take a little bit more than that to get him to talk, but he didn't even think twice. But obviously, you know, things kind of worked out, I guess. We'll have to see. Well, we know they do, because obviously much later on, they're both still there, but those flashbacks are really getting interesting, especially the one with him going back to Starling City. I'm definitely looking forward to see how that's going to play out. Could you imagine, like, he's in Starling City, he's so close to his family, so close to his mother and all that, and he can't do anything? I mean, that's going to be really, really intriguing stuff to watch. I'm looking forward to that big time. So this is going to be interesting now. Now Thea and Oliver are back on the island, or I should say Oliver's back on the island. Thea's first time there. And you know, we saw the highlights for next week, and Malcolm's telling him he needs to get that killer instinct back. And you know what? I gotta say, I kind of miss Homicidal Oliver. I kind of miss Hami Ali. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it'll be nice to get him back for a little while, if only for killing the League. That's it. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting to watch too, because now Thea's gonna take another level to her training. And you know, when this all started, I was kind of questioning, oh, now they're gonna throw Thea into this and blah blah blah. But you know what? They're blending it so well. It feels natural. I think the fact that they're using the family element to promote the fact that these two are actually going to be like warriors makes it work better. It's not like Thea wanted this. It's not like she was like, I want to be a superhero. She received the training for her best interests from her father. Now she needs to improve that training and utilize it to protect herself. So it's not like it's happening to make another superhero, even though I'm sure to some degree that's what's going to happen in the long run. But that's not the premise of why it's being done. And I think that's why it works. At least for me, that's my opinion. But yeah, I thought it was a really good episode. I like what they did with Laurel. I like how they utilized Vertigo to take Laurel's character to another level. Very emotional moments in this show. Very, very emotional, strong moments for both Oliver and Laurel. Especially Laurel. She went through a lot. This was like her episode. And then just seeing her father at the end, man, that broke my heart. It just crushed me. It was so hard to watch. You know, and I know this is TV and these are characters. But, you know, you get invested in these characters. And I've always liked Captain Lance. Even from the beginning when he was a prick, but I've always liked him. So to see him suffer this the second time really broke my heart. It really did. But it's getting good, man. It was a good episode. I'm very happy that it turned out to be as good as it was, considering that I was kind of a little bit let down that they were going back to the Vertigo route, but they did Vertigo and they used it the right way. They used it to progress a character, and that's the most important thing. Other than that, next week's going to be a doozy. Let's see what happens. Anyway, guys, that's it for this review. This is Rob signing off for ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching ETN. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit ETN's Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description. You're watching ETN, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob. This video, our review for Arrow, episode 13. And first, let me just say I am very pleasantly surprised that, considering they were dealing with Vertigo again, this turned out to be a very, very good episode. A lot of things were revealed. A lot of things are on the table now, and now things are really going to get deep. So, Laurel the last couple of weeks has been struggling being the Black Canary. She has no good tactics. She's got very minimal skills. She throws a good punch, but outside of that, she's been struggling. But she's been getting the job done. It just hasn't been pretty, and then sometimes it's been even embarrassing. And this episode is, it was really, really strong episode. This is what I love about the Flash and the Arrows, because they're both, it's like a yin and a yang. The Flash, you get the lightheartedness, but you still get a lot of emotional value out of scenes with certain characters, and you get the action and all that. And the Arrow's very much darker, but you get that same emotional value, and of course the action. A little bit more action packed on the Arrow though. And this episode, boy, I tell you, I still don't agree with going to the well one too many times with Vertigo.